Supercars are back, baby. Darwin's here, and we're ready to kick off the Indigenous round up in the Northern Territory. Looking forward to seeing all the cool and not so cool liveries that get launched, and of course the obligatory video of some of the drivers in the crocodile experience again every year. So
must tick that off.
G'day, Steve. Welcome to the Valve Bouts. How are you, mate?
G'day, Damo. Welcome everyone to the Valve Bouts. It's a race week. We're getting going. Love Darwin. Wish I was there. Far warmer than Melbourne.
Oh, tell me about it. We're feeling the freeze. And at
wrong.
one point, I keep thinking to myself this time of year, I really should book to go up. I want to watch the cars at Darwin, and it would be warmer. I should really book that holiday, and I never do. Never do.
I looked at this like 3 months ago. I was like, that's a great idea. And even the wife said it was a great idea, and yet I still didn't fucking book it. Unbelievable. Anyway.
That's all the approvals he needs.
I know. Insane. Anyway, Damien, tell me this. What is the Triple Crown even anymore?
I don't know, mate. No, I do know. We will answer that because it's changed. They have flipped on its head. It is now the highest points winner for the whole round, so for the weekend. So we're back to the old days where it's basically whoever scores the most points. And I think that was when Cup won it, and that was during COVID. I think that happened. And then the only other winner has been Scotty Mack, who actually achieved the original hardcore Triple Crown, which was the pole and the two races on the Sunday. So, one official winner, one Cup, you kind of got it. And then this week, we definitely have to crown someone. So it's like the third and easiest one to win.
Oh, well, let's just hope it's not Feeney.
Well, it is going to be, or it was last year, a Camaro weekend. Hoping some of that parity stuff that's been adjusted will fix that problem. But
31 degrees, we're fucked. Like we are so screwed from side. Like it is not even going to be close. We cannot get a shoe in. You're going to see BJR cars in the top 5, and you're going to be wondering what the hell's going on. The only normality to the Camaros will be that the Erebus cars will be out the back.
Oh, I know. They're behind BRT. Unlucky. Well, not unlucky. That's the way it rolls. So, all right. Well, let's kick off. We'll have a little bit of a look at the track schedule. So let's do a bit of our preview.
Yeah.
And we'll kick off. So it's obviously Hidden Valley Raceway up in Darwin. The weather, as we said, looking beautiful, 31, 32, 31. A little hot probably for the cars, as you say.
Very.
And what's the format, mate? What have we got on?
Well, mate, it is another super sprint round, like we know, all the way up until Ipswich. It's the same type of shit that we've had for the last whatever long. We've got 2 times practice sessions on the Friday. Yep. We've got 2 qualifyings, which will bore us to death on the Saturday. We've got 2 races on the Saturday. Then we've got another qualifying on the Sunday. We've got a top 10 on the Sunday. And then we've got a long-ass race on the Sunday that Matty Payne will win.
Oh, early call. Okay.
I went early.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm not talking about any of that stuff. You're right. We are going to see that same old kind of format. So the qualifying bits in 2 parts. And then we did find out. So it's obviously the softs for the first race of the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Then they're moving to the super softs again in that second race on, which is on Saturday. Yet. Still going, and then Sunday sees us back on the 2025 softs. So, and that'll have obviously 2 stops I have to do on the Sunday, and 1 stop compulsory, and 2 tyres on the race.
Can we just talk about those tyres for a brief second? I mean, I know this is out of win, but has that actually brought any value to the racing at all this year?
Bueller. No.
Ferris Bueller.
No.
Like,
I mean,
what is the point? Like, it's not changed a single thing other than it's irritating to listen to them try and explain why we're running them.
oh, yeah, well, that's commentary stuff. Let's not touch on that this one. We'll save that. We'll save that for the review.
For the review,
where things are going to go pear-shaped, I think. But look, I think it's definitely, they haven't done it for any entertainment value. We haven't really seen anything there. It has mixed up a few people whose cars are not quite going in the right direction on different tires, but ultimately it's done, as you say, bugger all. And once we get rid of those spare tires, the better off we'll be. So
I know.
Let's see how it goes.
I know. I just want to see something. I don't know. I'm getting bored again.
You're getting bored.
I'm getting bored.
You don't have enough rounds to get bored. You can be bored in between, but when the rounds happen, they should be exciting, even if they are a little.
I know, but this is the problem that I'm having. It started with such a good bang, and then it's just slowly fizzled.
Yeah.
More, and I think it's down to the fact that we are just too spread out. I think there's too much downtime. Like, I know we haven't had too much downtime since the last round, so I'm not having a go at that. 2 weeks is fine.
It's good.
But not enough happened at the Perth round. I think it was like carco.com.au round for us to continue to talk. Like, you look at all the like Speed Cafe and Sleuth and all, and they're rehashing some old rubbish that it's just, it's kind of irrelevant. Anyway, I talk about relevance a lot, and I feel like they're not relevant. I know we're not relevant, so you can go in on me on the
we can do that.
But at least we can admit it.
Yeah, well, we have self-awareness, right? So that's the key.
Yeah, that's it.
And just quickly, it's 42 laps for the two races on the Saturday, and then it's 70 laps, so the long one. So look, Darwin typically has some reasonable racing. We have seen some big crashes and stuff in the past, the years gone by. So, potentially there might be something that happens that'll keep us a little entertained. But I guess let's just hope that the Mustangs have some sort of a shot or some sort of opportunity, because in reality, it was just a nightmare for the Fords last year. We didn't have any hope really. No. So that is our little preview of the track, at least. And I'll
tell you what, if the Fords are competitive this weekend, I'll start to feel happier about upcoming like Bathurst and stuff, because right now that race in particular for me, I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I should watch it this year, just quietly. But
I think I have enough interest that you're going to poke your head in to have a look a little bit, and if it's going well, you'll probably give it a watch.
It's just one of those things. It's like they need to be like, this needs to get fixed. I think this is my problem. These little niggles that we've had for almost 3 years, they need to start getting fixed.
Yes. All right.
Triggered.
I agree. And I always get a little nervous when you use that word, because the voice to text stuff doesn't pick up the right word sometimes. So it makes me nervous. I guess that really brings us into, like, we're talking about that dominance. Someone that's really strong there, other than a Reynolds, who seems to always be able to perform well there. But Feeney last year really dominated this round.
He did.
Who's going to take it to him? Is anybody going to be able to stop his current run of wins?
The only form guy that you have right now, really, especially from our side of the fence, is Payne and Woody. Nobody else is really, like, DJR since just before Tassie have really sort of dropped the ball. And then you look at Tickford, and they're there and thereabouts, but they're not, I don't know, they're like the Tickford of like 2016, 17, 18, where they've got a quick-ish car, but not a quick car. So it's really hard. And out of the Camaros, I mean, really MSR will probably pop up because they love this track. Team 18 have a good track record at this track. So you suddenly, like, all the Camaros that don't go so well typically tend to just come to the front here.
Yeah.
It's obviously something to do with the heat and the way the engines work, but either way, it's very hard to see from our side of the fence, other than Payne and Woody, anyone being able to really take it to them.
Yeah, I think the only DJR had a reasonable stab at it last year. I think it was 5th, 6th or something like that. And that was Anton. Now, Anton's obviously going to have a pretty good run, so he could be a bit of a smoky outsider from the Camaro side to kind of take it to Feeney. But yeah, maybe DJR can pull their stuff together, and they've got some good data that sees them, start the weekend strong and perhaps pull out at least a little bit of a performance. But probably the one for me is, how is Brown going to go when at the moment Feeney is really taking it to him and he's kind of dominating him? So how's Brown going to go? He should have some success. It's a 888 Camaro track, right? So, if any chance that he's going to take it to Feeney, I think this is the round he needs to do it before things get too far out of reach for him.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's an interesting thing, this. I don't know if he's just got a different mentality this year. Obviously, last year it was all about trying to, get on the board, consistency and everything else. Because it's the finals, there's not such an emphasis on that. So as long as he's in that, I mean, for them, probably that top 4, he's okay. But I do think he will want to start to bring on a couple of better weekends where he's sort of getting a win or something here. So yeah, I think you're right. I think we can probably expect him to get something this weekend. Feeney's going to be hard. He dominated last year, and he dominates when the car's given to him. So it's it's one of those things. I look. Hopefully we have, as I said, Woody and Payne come out, and Payne's got to get his qualifying down though. Like that's one thing that he definitely needs.
Yeah, he needs to improve. And I think it's a big one for Woody to sort of string together at least some success to be, in one of those Ford teams or Ford's positions as far up as he can. He's obviously a race winner, but he's on he's on that edge that we've been talking about, the top 10. He's now in 10th position. And so, he really needs to start stringing together some consistency. So even if he's having, like, if they're going to have a tough round as a Mustang or a Ford team, he still needs to be pushing into that sort of 6th or 7th position to kind of keep his, keep him off that threshold of the top 10.
And this is the hardest thing, right? So I mean, I had a discussion recently with our dad. Funny. Whereby we were talking about, there's finding your peak and then raising your basement, right? So every time you're on track, you find a peak, you raise the basement to close to that peak, and then you try and find that next peak and then try and raise that basement. That's what Woody's got to do now. He needs to raise that basement, and same with Payne. Just raise the basement so that your worst is like an Oscar Piastri. It's a 4th. It's not a 10th, 15th, 20th. It's your worst is you're still in the hunt. So that's the thing to work on now, because we know he's got the peak speed. Absolutely got the peak. Ryan Wood, that is. Payne's probably got to find that peak.
Well, I agree totally. And I think when you look at it, I was just doing some calculations, like sort of 200 odd points between that sort of 13th position getting into that sort of P7 position. So, it's getting quite compact in that period there. And so, as a race winner and as someone that's having a good year, you'd hate for him to kind of just get to that end fold as Woody this is and just miss out and not give yourself at least an opportunity to, improve as you go. So hopefully he can do that. There's a whole bunch of those drivers that'll be, especially some of those Camaro drivers. You've got Heimgardner, you've got Hill, Anton and Golding and even Percat in that batch that could possibly have a great round this one just by circumstance of the manufacturer and the engine troubles. And, they will be looking to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, 100% they will be. 100%.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking of capitalizing, a little segue. Rylan Gray, his turn to have a crack in the Tickford wild card. It's going to be a bit of a tough one, I think, for him. Not so lucky as the more the nicer Ford track that we had in Barbagallo. So hopefully he can just give it a good solid go and build up to it the right way. And Frosty's mentored him enough to kind of get him through over those hurdles of the Camaro Cup.
Yeah, look, I think Rylan will go all right. The car seemed not too bad over in WA in Lockie's hands. So, and I think Lockie did a reasonable job. As he said, he got boxed a little bit. But, that's part of learning the main game and how the guys fight. But yeah, no, I think he should be all right. I sort of expect, I think he's got a little bit more pace than Lockie, maybe just. So if he can get into the top 15, I think he'd be like really stoked with that. If you're in the top 20, that's perfectly acceptable. The one thing he doesn't want to do is just be struggling at the back. You want to have a fight of it and get to know how this category sort of fights. And I hope for him that's the case. He's definitely got the pace. So we'll just sit there and wait. But we've had some livery reveals.
We have had livery reveals.
I believe you have some cars to show the ladies and gentlemen that are watching so closely.
I do. And I guess, we've already seen the MSR ones. And as of recording the ones that we're showing you, these are the ones we have available. Follow us on the socials, the Valve Bounce everywhere. And you'll see us share more of those if you don't see it. But let's kick off with probably the worst of the two that have provided renders only. And this is Team 18. This is Team 18, mate. And I guess I'll just hide that one so we've got a little bit more real estate. There's very little change, and they've just put some of the theme as that kind of shadow effect in the background behind. So, give that as the photographer and as someone that has an eye for picking out beautiful sunset shots like this one. AI. What do you think of their effort, mate?
Well, to be fair, it looks like they've taken an iRacing render and then chopped it out, and at least they got the shadows correct. Look, I don't know. The cars look.
All right, I'm going to save you.
Maybe
it's
look
a bad render.
It is a bad render. And look, it might be a little bit better on track, but I don't think they've had much of an effort there, to be honest. It's probably a 2 out of 10 for me.
2 out of 10. Oh, tough one. Okay. All right. The next one, this is the last of the renders, thankfully. And I'm not sure where they pulled this one from, but yeah, this one's Premiere have launched this. And yeah.
Again, I know iRacing is great, guys, and it makes it really easy to create a paint and your team can do it. Just hire a freaking photographer and take some shots. That looks terrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Like you are professional teams. Professional. That's not professional. That's average at best. I've done better on iRacing than whatever that is. Look, that's a 1 out of 10 demo for effort. That is utter shite.
All right.
Like, is this Indigenous round or is this? I don't really give a shit, and we'll hide it underneath in a tiny little strip. That's crap.
Yeah, that's pretty crap. And we do always see the really good ones and some bad ones. And 1 out of 10. And I guess as we're talking about the people at the back of the field, let's have a look at Erebus. And it was a bit tough with their photos, like which one to pick.
Portrait.
So I had to go and portrait. I'm sorry. I know it's doing your brain in, but like otherwise I had to do like multiple photos to get this
Who
one.
used their phone? That's what I want to know. Who used their phone? Just turn it and take the photo. Landscape. Come on. Yeah. I know you want to put it on Instagram. Blah 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 blah. No. That's horrible. Anyway, the actual livery itself, much better effort. At least it's the real freaking cars. And I can actually see something. So that's nice. Like it, at least it sort of takes it on. Well done, Erebus. I'll give you, I mean, it's not the most spectacular thing I've ever seen in my life, but I give you a solid 7 out of 10 for that.
7, that's nice. Nice. Okay. This one we've got, which is Jackson Evans, whose tribute is more to his Islander heritage through the Fijian stuff that he's got. So he's kind of combined that.
Purple people eater.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We've talked about like the purple and yellow should go well together. And so maybe it's the red of the logos that are clashing a little bit that make it not work. But
yeah,
it's good. It's good. It's not, something's not right about it for me.
Yeah, look, it's I think you're right. I think it's the red. I think it's the red of the Liberty, and the SCT doesn't quite gel with the rest of it. But I mean, look, I like the purple. I actually like the purple. I mean, I raced a pink car on the weekend. I don't have any issue against that. And the yellow does and should work. And if I cover the logos and look at just it's it's all right. It's good. Yeah. So I think, I think it. Look, I'll wait and see it on track. I'll give it right at this given point. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, only because I think they've gone into a hell of a lot more effort than the others. And if it isn't for just the SCT and the Liberty, it probably works more effectively.
Yeah, perfect. And I think it's good that we see a bit of diversity. It's not just one sort of background. No. It's tying into Jackson Evan and his history. So that's good too. Yeah,
it's awesome.
All right, this one's a triple banger. We've got the Tickford cars, and I decided to choose this photo because really, don't worry about the Mustang on the left of screen if it's on your left, but the Monster Energy one, because ultimately what you can see there of the Indigenous integration is about as effective as it is when you look at the whole car. Right. Really bugger all in that sense. And so that wasn't great, but the other two are looking all right.
Yeah, look, Ryland's car looks, I can see there's a little bit of detail through the blue. So at least that's more prominent. Probably has a little bit too much white, to be honest, but that happens. The Castrol car looks all right. I don't mind the Castrol car. You can see a little bit more of the Indigenous, but it's still
pretty light on.
Yeah, pretty light on. And the Monster car, well, that's a solid 0 out of 10 for me. That's next to no effort. And I know that in these cases, sometimes they're hampered by the sponsor. So I totally get it. But as for the whole thing, maybe you could have, like, even through the black, right? They could have kept it a solid black and then just had like gloss, like black variants, all overlays, so it still stays completely black, and that would have been a much better effort in my opinion. So there's ways they could get around it, but overall as a team, maybe a 5. But 0 for the Monster. It's been carried by Ryland's car, and Randall's is, I'll give it a 5.
Okay. All right. Well, I've saved what I think is probably the best to last, and talk about staging a nice photo. Go on. Give us your photography, because I know what you're going to talk about, so go for it.
Like, just time of day, they've got lights, like lighting to light up the cars, and you could argue whether the lighting's right or wrong. So the cows come home. And look, as for the lens choice, is interesting because it's quite a wide. So I'm guessing they didn't have a lot of room to play with, because the cars look slightly distorted. But overall, the livery is well done. BRT. On the back of getting a podium, that is a 10 out of 10 for effort and execution. I think both cars look great from what I can see, and it really pays homage to the Indigenous people.
Yeah.
So I love it.
And as you say sort of earlier, kudos. Obviously, Core Drive, they've got a lot of flexibility because they own that company, right? But for Snow River Caravans to kind of allow full creativity and take away some of the color to really showcase that livery. Well done to them as well.
Unbelievable. Excellent job.
Unbelievable. So
glad you finished on a high, Damo. It was lackluster at the start.
I know. Well, I was trying to decide on the four, like which ones would go, and I thought there's probably, I know that one's kind of the best I think that we've got. And I thought, well, let's just kind of roll it up with at least the first couple as the worst for sure. Both in liveries and renders, So
yeah, definitely. The renders need some work. Jesus, guys.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right. And that kind of wraps up the Darwin portion. So let's have a quick chat about what's happening on and off and around the grounds.
Have we given our predictions?
Oh, I forgot the predictions.
Damo. What are we even here for? Everyone's just here to hear our predictions because we know what's happening.
Oh, true. Yeah, because we're so accurate. We're so excellent at our predictions. Yes. Let's roll the intro. There we go. I did forget about them. Sorry, mate. Yes.
I know, mate. Come on.
Okay.
I want to know, Damien.
Yep.
Race 17. What do you got for me and why?
I have a theme, and I'm going to pick Feeney just for the sake of, like, you know what? It'll be there's two options when I tick him as the winner. One, safe bet. Okay, lost Steve. Vote. Just see you later. Just see him. It's a safe bet because he's obviously great last year, etc. And also that if I am perhaps a bad omen or a jinx, that if I tip him, maybe I'm quite happy to lose the prediction if he doesn't win. So it's kind of a win. It is a win-win for me.
It is. No, look, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I didn't hear the actual reason other than that ending, obviously. But for my race 17, I'm staying true to my boy Woody.
Oh,
he is going to continue his form. He is going to get a race win. That's going to be the first race of the weekend, and he's going to cement himself in that 10 this weekend, I believe. That is my big feeling. So, let's go, Woody. Prove me right.
Woody. All right. Well, then tell us what you've got for race 18 for the second race of the weekend on the Super Soft.
Just brown.
Brown.
Yeah. 2024 form. Comes back at Feeney, knocks him off his perch, knocks him off the road. And, Feeney got to the back of the grid and Brown takes the win from Woody. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Well, I thought let's for me, I'm gonna roll with I'm gonna have at least one Mustang in there. Yep. And I was like, do I roll the dice Wood, Payne? I'm like, you know what? Chaz is due for a bit more luck. Chaz is due to have a win. So I'm picking Chaz Boston as my race 18 winner.
Chazanator. Well, look, very good. I'd love to see Chazzy win. I mean, we came into this year and we were talking about how Chaz was going to be, championship contender and everything. What the
Yeah, absolutely. Like, basically, no. I mean, he still could get lucky at the end of the year because of the format, but geez, he's not looking strong, is he?
No, he's not. And like even over in West, when you got the pole and stuff, and you're like, oh, here we go, Chaz is on the one. But absolutely nothing after that. So again, he's another one that needs to raise that basement level because when he drops like a freaking stone. Right. So moving on to the top 10 shootout then. And I have predicted, like yourself,
3, 2, 1.
Feeney. Why? Because it's Camaro Central and that kid loves an advantage.
Well, and I think by that stage of the weekend for me, if even if he's going to have some troubles in the other races, you'd have to predict that he should be fast for the
He'll be
pole.
fast. Yeah, he'll be fast. Look, his 1 lap pace this year has been quite good. So you can't say any other way. So yeah, I think you'd be odds on if you're a betting man, he'll probably take the pole position. But I guess that leaves us to the last prediction, Damien. The very important one, the big 70-lap race, race 19. Who have you got and why?
Well, I've stuck to true form where hopefully it's a jinx, but otherwise it's a safe bet. And my Triple Crown winner in Darwin for 2025 is going to be Feeney for race 19.
Oh. Can we just put this out here that Damien's a closet Feeney fan? Like, this is ridiculous.
I'll see myself out.
Oh, how much better is that, folks? Oh,
hey.
So good. All right, race 19 winner, 70-lap race, Damien. I think you're wrong.
Yes.
I'm betting, like I said earlier, that Matty Payne will do a strategy masterclass and come home with the race win and make us all very happy and closing the gap on Feeney.
I mean, what an amazing story that would be if for the third round in a row, Penrite Racing finds some strategy to outcraft Triple Eight and Payne takes the win. I mean, like, you're starting to write fairy tale stories here, aren't you? Like,
yeah.
He at Red Bull is going to put a hole in the wall or something. They're going to be pissed.
And I'm here for it. I just want to see that. That's what I'm here for. Look, Matty Payne, love you, mate. Always have since you come into this series and we got to chat to you. In the early days of you before you even had your first race. So absolute legend, friend of the podcast, even though he doesn't know who we are. But no, I think he'll go well. And if it, as you said, if he can get the job done, and especially if it's strategy that gets him there, oh my God, I think Win Cup would just blow a brain cell.
Yeah. It's so good. I'm here for that. I'm on board for that. That's for sure.
So good. All right. Well, we can wrap up the Supercars stuff for this weekend. Let's move to some off-track topics, Damien. And over the weekend, we had our fellow
other friend of the podcast.
Not really. Shane Van Gisbergen won in Mexico, not in just like a little bit of fight. Like he absolutely I can't say that word.
Yeah, he brained them.
I'll get in trouble. He brained them. He went in without lube and ran away with one of the biggest wins that Gen 3, is it Gen 3 or is it Gen 7? I don't know what generation those cars are at. But it's one of the biggest wins they've had since that generation of car have come in. And that's impressive.
Yeah. At some point, these Yanks over there are going to go, right, I need to practice my street racing. I know the ovals are very important and they're a different skill set, but at some point they've got to learn how to heel and toe. They've got to drive the race car for a street track. And otherwise, I mean, like, you've got some excellent, really skilled drivers that could find their way and just dedicate a bit more time, and they're not going to lose out on the oval stuff, but just to give them a fighting chance. Because I mean, SVG has secured himself a little spot, and didn't that ruffle some feathers?
Georgia? No, it did. It popped off on TikTok, especially a few of the Americans banging on about the fact that you win and you're in, but he was 33rd in the standings, and now he's 10th, and blah, 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 and that's not right. Well, it is right, because that's the rule. You win and you're in. It's the rule that I want Supercars to bring in, because I actually think it's a really good rule, because it allows somebody from absolutely nowhere to actually get in and mess some shit up. So that's what you want. You don't want it to be the straight out all the time. You want something different. So well done, SVG, for pissing and shitting everywhere and throwing up and hugging the porcelain bus on the lead up and afterwards and still getting the job done. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, what was the quote? I was going at both ends, and then they fed him tequila. Oh,
I know. How much pain? And he mixed it with Red Bull. I was like, oh, mate, that is just like he said. I heard him in a like interview afterwards. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he's like, once I was done with that interview, I literally spent the next 2 hours in the top. It's like, good Lord, man, you poor bastard. So, congratulations, SVG. It's good to see you kicking goals. I know we weren't the best of friends when you were in Supercars with the horrible team, but now you're outside of that. It's okay.
Yes, indeed. And then, speaking of painful rear ends, what was the quote from Stenhouse? Something about I'm going to beat your ass.
I'm going to beat your ass if you do it
your
again.
Ass.
Beat your ass. He was not happy.
No,
is it Hossifer? Hossifer? I think it's Hossifer. I think you're right.
Yeah.
He, apparently Hossifer has taken him out twice now in the last sort of like 2 or 3 weeks, and this time was not real. Like, it was his fault, but he lost control of the car in tricky conditions, and it just accidentally took him out. So, quite funny though. That's what we need in supercars, though. You need that little niggle, that gritty. I'm going to punch on with you, and we just don't get that. Oh, actually, even WEC. Did you see the lead-up race at WEC where the Ferrari driver?
Yes,
he was punching. Like, he was punching.
I sort of felt like, mate, you must be so angry because you realize like the way, like what you're punching, like you're not. I was just hurting your wrist. Like you're not going to do much anyway. But there was so much for the FIA and their kind of rules to kind of clean stuff up. Eh?
I know they're worried about swearing, and then there's this guy just absolutely going hammer and toe on the car, trying to get to the driver. Bloody hell!
Indeed.
Yes.
And I guess just to kind of close out, there was obviously IndyCar as well on the weekend.
Yeah,
and there was
Newgarden did a bit of a flip.
He did do a bit of a flip. We're going to utilize the
Speed Cafe site.
Thank you, Speed Cafe site, and we'll get this pop up here, and it should work. Hopefully that works.
You could see at that very moment that Damien's brain went pop.
I was like, I'm trying to.
Thank God it wasn't me this time.
I'm like, why won't you work? Oh, I know why. I've got it. Yeah.
Got it. Hey.
We just thought it was such a big accident, and
it was.
The video really does it. That's the only way you can really understand it. So I'm hoping the sound should come through. We should be fine there, but let's go.
Well, I can hear it.
Oh, that is a terrifying view from Joseph
That's
Newgarden.
A hard hit, isn't it?
You're on an oval. You're doing over 170 miles an hour.
And it is like, it's just massive. Just in case we get any copyright stuff, but you can watch the footage here. That guy's obviously come off the wall, lost it, and he's got nowhere to go, and just bang.
That is such a hard hit, and I'm glad he's okay. You make your decision, right? You made the decision that he was going left, and that's just exactly where that other car ended up. It's just we saw something like that over the weekend at the 2 Litres Damo. Good friend of the pod, Lee Nuttall, lent out his car to Matty Thorless, and not Matty's fault at all. Someone spun in front of him. He went down the inside up on the curb on the grass, and that car came back across and contact. It just it just happens. There's nothing one can do sometimes. So
it's part of racing. Sometimes that does just happen.
It does. I suppose I mean, we can talk about Kyle Kirkwood winning and that, but I don't think that's very important, Damien. I think what is actually really important is my own little trophy here.
Hang on.
is second in class. Did it work?
I just cut you off. I just dropped you out.
Oh, come on. Look at that.
No.
Second in class. That
Well
is
done. Well
a drive
done,
of the champion.
driver in the
I'm
pink
talking
Polestar.
absolute shit. Yep. Pink Pulsar had a great weekend at Calder Park Raceway.
Well
Going
done,
to talk
mate.
myself out. Thanks to Tim Maynard. I need to shout that out
Yes,
because
good man,
it is
Timmy.
his car along with Dan Smith, and he has now allowed me to drive it twice.
Yep.
And this weekend we picked up some silverware, and so did he in the TT races as well.
Yeah.
So well done, Timmy. Well done to me.
Well done
How
to you.
good are
And
we?
well done, because I know leading into the weekend, it was a little tight for time. There were things happening everywhere, like
Didn't even get in the first
running.
practice, mate.
Engine's not running.
Yep.
And you got there, the fuel was right, the lug nuts were tight, everything was on song. Double duties from the pink Pulsar, and for both of you to come away with a bit of a trophy is great work. Great
It
work,
definitely
mate.
is, because Timmy, mate, I won't say what he did over the weekend because he'll get in all sorts of strife, but it was a mammoth effort by him to get that car ready and to get it down to Calder Park Raceway.
Yes.
We didn't, as I said, we didn't get out in the first practice. I learnt the track in qualifying, and then we went racing. So it was a hell of a weekend, but silverware is good, and happy days.
It is good. And you had some nice battles with some of the usual crowd there with Declan and a few others. So
look out for that. I'm trying to get Declan to give me his in-car footage, and I'm trying to get the in-car footage from my car as well, because that last race we had an absolute ding-dong battle. But you know, I got it. Hey, Declan. It was a cracking battle with him. It was great to be able to do that. Earlier in the weekend, we even went 3 wide, but Blendline TV missed that.
Yeah, what a shame. Yeah, there is some coverage on Blendline, which is great to see as well. But if you've got a membership only, but yes, we are all done and dusted. So enjoy the Triple Crown on the weekend if you decided to watch it, Steve. Okay,
I will watch it. Of course, I'll watch it. As much as I sit here and I complain and be the old fella, I'm still going to watch it. So,
you can't resist.
Not. Absolutely not. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, socials: Facebook, Twitter, X. We're on here, YouTube. Obviously, we're we're here.
The Valve Bounce. Everywhere.
And happy to have a chat. Tag us in rubbish. I don't care. It'll be fun.
Awesome work. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.